Hello! For this video, I will be discussing an application of stars and bars, particularly on counting the number of possible ways of getting a sum when several dice are rolled. For example, let's start with two dice with, of course, numbers sides numbered 1 to 6. The question, for example, is find the number of ways that you can get a sum of 5. So I'll just represent that as A and B. These are the two results of the two dice. So what we want to solve is for the number of solutions or integer solutions to this equation. A plus B is equal to 5. So if you haven't watched my previous video on stars and bars, as an introduction, I suggest you watch it first. So for this example, hindi naman siya ganun kahirap, and actually kahit hindi ka na mag stars and bars for this one kasi A and B are restricted from 1 to 6, and there is just a couple of pairs na nagsasatisfy sa condition na to, namely 1, 4, and of course 4, 1, and then 2, 3, and 3, 2. That's it. Kung mag stars and bars tayo, note na since A and B should be greater than 0, well, it should start with 1 at the very least, so we use a substitution. A is equal to A prime plus 1. B prime plus 1 is equal to 5. This is one of the steps or the techniques I discussed in the discussion, the introduction to stars and bars. So for this one, we have A prime plus B prime is equal to 5 minus 1 minus 1, so that's 3. So by stars and bars, the number of solutions for this one is 3 plus 1 taken 1 is equal to 4 taken 1 is equal to 4. So that's it. So meron ka bang restriction dito? The answer is wala. Kasi your A prime and B prime could be at most 5. Bakit? Kasi si A and B are between 1 and 6. Therefore, si A prime and B prime should be between 0 and 5. 6. Para yung total niya is 6 pa rin. May mababiolate ba siya dito? The answer is no, kasi the maximum sum is 3. Therefore, the maximum value of A prime and B prime is just 3. So, hindi ito mababiolate. So, for this one, the answer is 4, which is aligned to what we got here. So, what if the sum of the two dice is 10 instead? So, that's A plus B is equal to 10. Again, this is quite easy if you just list the solutions. There are only quite a couple of them. So, we can start with 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it starts with 4. So that's 4, 6, 6, 4, and then 5, 5. There's nothing else. Okay, we can't have 1 kasi if A is 1, then B is 9, and that's not within the possible values of A and B kasi dice are just numbered 1 to 6. So if we use stars and bars for this one, again we use the substitution A prime plus B plus 1 plus B prime plus 1 is equal to 10. Therefore, A prime plus B prime is equal to 8. The total number of solutions for this one by stars and bars is 8 plus 1 taken 1 is equal to 9. Next question. May na-violate ba sa mga cases na to? Sa restrictions natin na between 0 and 5? The answer is yes. Kasi for this integer equation, you have the solution, for example, 0, 8 and then 1, 7. Clearly, this is not part of, actually it's part of this domain, but 8 is not, and then 7 is not as well. So, hindi pwede itong solution na to na isama natin lahat. That's why for this one, we will use principle of inclusion and exclusion, or in short, PI. Again, if you haven't watched my video about that, I suggest you watch it first. So, for this one, since gusto natin itanggalin yung cases na mas mataas siya by 5, we again use a substitution. A prime is equal to A double prime plus 6. So again, this is equal to A. This is equal to A prime. And then this one is B prime is equal to 8. Bakit isa lang? Kasi we want muna na one of them will be greater than 5. We can actually, the two of them can't be greater than 5 at the same time. Because if that's the case, then this will be at least 12. So that's not possible. So for this one, we get A double prime plus b prime is equal to 2. By stars and bars, the number of solutions for this one is 2 plus 1 taken 1, or just 3. But then again, b prime can also be greater than 5. So, at this one, we multiply by a total of 2. Kasi, if you use the substitution naman na a prime plus b double prime plus 6 is equal to 8, you get something like this as well. So, as a way to shorten the solution, ang gagawin lang natin is to multiply the result by 2. So, the total number of solutions is 9 minus, that's 2 taken 1, times 3 taken 1 is equal to 3. Which is same lang sa nakuha natin kanina. Okay, so that's 4 and 3. Quite easy. Actually, madali lang siya pagka dalawang pairs lang. Actually, kapag dalawang pairs lang, I suggest wag na kayo mag-stars and bars. Bilangin nyo na lang. I think it's much faster. Kasi there's just only a couple of them na possible na maging result. So, that's yung possible sum lang naman ranges from 2 to 12. So, it's not much hard. So, some of you might have heard that for dice problem, you're using the substitution 6 minus x prime or a prime plus 6 minus b prime. This is what I refer to as a complement method. Kasi instead na magbe-base ka sa minimum, this which is what I'm doing here, a prime plus 1, you can also look at the complement, which is you're looking at from the maximum. So let's try that for this problem. So a plus b is equal to 10. Let's use a substitution 6 minus a prime and 6 minus b prime. So this is 6 minus a prime plus 6 minus b prime is equal to 10. You simplify that and you'll get 12 minus a prime minus b prime is equal to 10. So a prime plus b prime is equal to 2. The number of solutions for this one is, of course, 2 plus 1 taken 1, or 3 taken 1, or 3. Mas madali. Like, you don't have to use the principle of inclusion and exclusion anymore, unlike for this one. So ito, nagdiretso na lang tayo nang nakuha natin to. Bakit wala ng principle of inclusion and exclusion for this one? Kasi wala namang values a prime and b prime for this equation na mag-violate sa constraint natin. By the way, I forgot to note yung values natin for a prime and b prime. A prime and b prime for this one should be between 0 and 5. Wow, bakit? Kasi if a prime is 0, then this one is 6, which is the maximum possible value of a. If a prime is equal to 5, then the minimum value of this is 1, which is the minimum value for a. So clearly, wala naman na-violate yan dito. Wala nang i-exceed by 5. So, yun. So, medyo madali lang din tong gamitin substitution na to. 6 minus a prime plus 6 minus b prime. So, the question that stands now is, kailan mo gagamitin tong substitution na to, yung 6 minus a prime, and when will you use the a prime plus 1? The answer is, ito, I just learned through the years. Use it when this sum is greater than half of the number of this times 6. What? For example, there are two dice na ginagamit natin. So the maximum sum is 12. Half of that is 6. So kapag mas malaki ito sa 6, gamitin nyo yung 6 minus a prime. Gets? Because that way you are minimizing the number of applications of the principle of inclusion and exclusion. Gets? So for dice problem, meron akong 3 tips for you. Number 1 is to make a good representation. Actually, hindi lang to sa dice problem mag-a-apply. This also applies for most stars and bars application. So, pwede yan to sa digit sum and all. So, make a good representation, meaning you make the appropriate substitution, whether it's 6 minus a prime or a prime plus 1. The next tip that I want to share with you is that when you make a representation, you always ask yourself, does the representation when does the representation violate the constraint? Kasi important to eh. Important na i-monitor nyo yung ano ba yung pwedeng maging values and hindi pwedeng maging values ng mga variables. For example, for this one, A and B. Your A and B are constrained originally from 1 to 6. Then you make a representation na A prime and B prime using this substitution. Ano na yung values na hindi allowed? Or ano na lang muna yung allowed? So that's between 0 and 5 na this time. And then, if you use naman this substitution, 6 minus A prime, ang values na allowed sa'yo is 0 to 5 lang. Which is apparently same to this one. So anything outside this interval should be considered in the principle of inclusion and exclusion. So yun yung mga sinusubtract natin dito. So tip number 3 ko sa inyo is, nasabi ko na sa inyo, if you have n dice, use the substitution 6 minus A prime if sum is greater than 6n over 2 or 3n. So gamitin nyo itong substitution na to kapag mas mataas sa half ng total, yung maximum total yung sagot. This is to minimize the number of principle of inclusion and exclusion applications. So if otherwise, then you use the substitution A prime plus 1. Gets? So it's time to level up. So nasa 2 variables pa lang tayo and relatively madali lang yan. So let's proceed with, say, 5 na dice naman this time. Suppose you have 5 dice and you want the sum to be 15. Okay, ito intentionally ginawa ko siyang half ng 30 para pwede nyo natin gamitin yung first step. I mean, hindi tayo makonstrain dun sa other one. So if the sum is 15, that's just 30 over 2, that's equal to half of it. So you can choose either way, either 6 minus A prime or A prime plus 1, that's just the same. So for this purposes, I'll just use A prime plus 1. So if I use A prime plus 1, B prime plus 1 plus blah 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 plus E prime plus 1 is equal to 15. The ones should cancel out if I transpose it on the other side. So I get A prime plus B prime plus C prime plus D prime plus E prime is equal to 10. The number of solutions for this one is 10 plus 5 minus 1 over, taken 5 minus 1 or 14 taken 4. Okay? Next question. Kailan na-violate yung A prime, B prime, C prime, and so on? So if it's greater than, again, kagaya nung paulit-ulit kong sinasabi sa inyo kanina, if it's greater than 5, may case ba na greater than 5 in any of the variables? The answer is yes. Bakit? Kasi the total is 10. So any of them can be 6, 7, 8, or 9. So without loss of generality, let A prime be greater than 5. So again, I use a substitution A double prime plus 6. Again, this plus 6 kasi gusto natin greater than 5. And then maintain lang natin ibang variables. B prime plus E prime is equal to 10. Again, simplify this. A double prime plus B prime plus C prime plus D prime plus E prime is equal to 4. Total number of solutions for this one is 4 plus 5 minus 1 taken 5 minus 1 is equal to 8 taken 4. So this total, from this total we subtract 2, that's 5 of them, so that's 5 taken 1 times 8 taken 4. So saan galing itong 5 taken 1? Kasi there are 5 possible ways na magkaroon ka ng something greater than 5, which is A double prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and E prime. So gets? So the next question is, meron bang case na mababiolate mo pa yung constraint na to? Or equivalently, I'm asking, meron bang case na dalawa sa mga to yung greater than 5? The answer is no. Kasi if this is 6, the total is 12. So 12 is greater than 10, so that's impossible. So ito na yung sagot natin. So if you calculate that using your calculator, I'll just leave it up to you. The answer is 651. Taran! Okay? Okay. So level up all tayo ng konti. Sabi naman natin na this time, we're looking for a prime plus b prime plus c prime plus d prime plus e prime is equal to 28. Sorry, ba't may prime? Walang prime. Ito, ang question dito is, number of ways that 5 dice would give a sum of 28. So at first, I'll just use the normal method, the a prime plus 1, b prime plus 1, plus, and so on, plus e prime plus 1 is equal to 28. So, actually, ginawa na pala natin kanina yung 5. So, let's make this 6 variables naman this time. So, a prime up to f prime. So, that's 6 of them. Plus, b prime plus c prime plus d prime. Nakakatamad magsulat. Plus f prime is equal to 22. Total number of solutions for this one is 22 plus 6 minus 1. So, that's 27. Taken 5. Next question. May cases ba na ma-violate yung constraint natin na a prime between 0 and 5? The answer is yes. So again, if we use a substitution, a double prime plus 6 plus b prime plus and so on is equal to 22. Total number of solutions for this one is, simplify mo natin. A double prime plus b prime plus and so on is equal to 16. Total number of solutions for this one is 16 plus 5, so that's 21 taken 5. Again, we put a multiplier na 6 taken 1. Kasi there are 6 of them na pwedeng maging greater than 5. Next, meron bang cases na twice ma-violate yung constraint na to? The answer is yes. Kasi if this is 6, pwede pa rin itong maging greater than, pwede pa rin itong ma-satisfy. So this time, we make 2 of them greater than 5. So that's b prime equal to b double prime plus 6 plus and so on is equal to 22. So this will become a double prime plus b double prime plus and so on is equal to 10. So the number of solutions for this one is 10 plus 5 taken 5. Then for this one, we subtract 6 taken 2 times 15 taken 5. Kasi there are 6 taken 2 pairs na pwedeng maging greater than 2. Again, I repeat this process if tatlo naman. Kasi pwede rin tatlo sa kanila yung maging greater than 6, greater than 5. Kasi the total of 3, 6 is 18. That's still lower than 22. So magiging a double prime plus 6 plus b double prime plus 6 plus c double prime plus 6 plus and so on plus f prime is equal to 22. So a double prime plus b double prime plus c double prime plus and so on after f prime is equal to 22 minus 8, that's 4. That's 14. So that's 4 plus 5, 9 taken 5. May mali akong ginawa kanina. This should be plus by the principle of inclusion and exclusion. Remember? This should be plus. The next one is minus again. Minus plus minus. This is 6 taken 3 times 9 taken 5. Okay? You compute this and you'll get the answer that is equal to 1,161. Gets? Actually, may shortcut dito. If familiar ka na talaga. So, ganito yung magiging shortcut dito. You start with your sum. So, that's 28. And then, you subtract kung ilan man yun. Diba 6 yun? So, that's minus 6. Ito yun. Para maging magamit natin to substitution na may plus 1. Minus 6 plus 5 plus 6 minus 1 pala. Kasi para sa stars and bars naman yun. Taken 6 minus 1. So, essentially, ito, ma-reduce natin siya sa 28 taken 5. 28, 27 taken 5. Tapos, from here, ang gawin nyo lang is minus, kung ilan yung variable, 6 taken 1. Subtract 6 from here, 21 taken 5, plus 6 taken 2, minus 6 from here again, 15 taken 5, minus 6 taken 3 times 15 minus 6. That's 9 taken 5. Can you subtract 6 from here? Sure, but that's 3 taken 5. That's not possible. So, ito yung sagot. This is a shortcut. So, if you start with the sum of 28, 32. So, that's 32 minus 1, 31 taken 5, minus 6 taken 1, times 31 minus 6, 25 taken 5, plus 6 taken 2, minus 6 again, 19 taken 5, minus 6 taken 3, 19 minus 3, 13 taken 5, plus I can subtract another 6 from here, so that's 6 taken 4 times 7 taken 5. Ito, hindi na ako nag-isip. Sinulat ko na lang lahat ng principle of inclusion and exclusion. The only problem for this one is masyado siyang maraming terms. Yun lang yung problem. Pero kung may calculator ka naman, this should be easy. You just plug and play. So, let's try to answer naman this problem, if we use a substitution 6 minus a prime. I'm telling you, this is much shorter. Plus e plus f is equal to 28. 6 minus a prime plus 6 minus b prime plus and so on. 6 minus f prime is equal to 28. That's 6, so that's 36. 36 minus 28, that's 8. A prime plus b prime plus c prime plus d prime plus f prime, plus f prime. Number of solutions for this one is 8 plus 6 minus 1. Taken 6 minus 1. So that's 13 taken 5. Ilan yung na-violate na constraint nito? I mean, possible ba itong ma-violate? Yes. So we use a substitution again. A prime plus 6. Kasi gusto natin na mas mataas siya sa 6. Yun yung gusto natin i-reduce. So this one becomes A prime plus 6 plus B prime and so on until F prime. So this one becomes A prime plus B prime plus C prime and so on until F prime is equal to 2. Number of solutions for this one is 2 plus 6 minus 1 taken 6 minus 1 is equal to 7 taken 5. Tama ba to? 7 taken 5. So, the number of times is subtract natin dito is 6 taken 1, ayaw tuminta, times 7 taken 5. So, the answer should be what we got here, 1161. This is much easier. Pero ito, mag-iisip ka pa. Kung gagamitin mo yung trick na sinabi ko sa inyo, this one, hindi ka na mag-iisip. Like, you just plug and play. Okay? So, once you learn this topic becomes pretty mechanical. So, kasi ito parang I just plug this in the calculator and I get the sum. So, but if you're in the contest, you might have a hard time evaluating each of this. So, baka mahirap. So, if that's the case, then you do this. Kasi this is much shorter. Much easier to evaluate. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Watch out for my next videos about other applications of stars and bars. Bye-bye.